So when was the last time you saw this scene, you think?
Enter the Dragon, oh man. In its entirety, I reckon the last time I saw this, it's got to be 15 years ago, man. I hope it's aged well.
I know it turned up on some of the streaming services recently, and a lot of people did say they'd rewatched it, which kind of tempted me to do it, and I really should have, because it was Bruce Lee's 80th birthday this week. But this is a tribute just watching this first scene. So I know a lot of the fans of Bruce Lee are really nerdy and know every little detail, so I'm almost afraid to say any details about the film. But I believe it's 1973. 1973, directed by Robert Klaus. Obviously, this first scene is Bruce Lee versus Sammo Hung, who a lot of people know from all his. Well, if in the West, you might just know him from Martial Law on Channel 5.
Yeah, that's about it.
But everyone else will know him from his.
What was it? Fatty Dragon?
Oh, it just gets like. Well, this is the thing. He's actually played Bruce Lee or done imitations of Bruce Lee in quite a few films. So the Skinny Tiger, Fatty Dragon. There's Enter the Fat Dragon, and in fact, I just recently watched Millionaire's Express, which he directs as well, in which he faces off against Cynthia Rothrock. And kind of does a little bit of the nose touch.
Cynthia Rothrock, still one of my personal favourites.
Weird connection. Director of this film also directed China O'Brien, starring her. The film that broke her out. So, right, let's get started.
Are you ready to go? Oh, talk us through it. Come on, Nathan.
So yeah, it's obviously in the Shaolin Temple. I believe this scene was filmed after the main photography. I'm assuming it's going to have been choreographed by Bruce Lee, because it's kind of showing his style of fighting, Jet Kune-Do, mixing stuff together, of which you're the expert. Obviously he's wearing the JKD gloves, which are often considered the first MMA gloves.
The old Bong Towels, baby.
And here he's squaring off with Sammo Hung, who's director, producer, actor, but action choreographer as much as anything.
And great hair.
And great hair in this, and it's slimmed down a little bit for this as well.
Yeah, he was looking trim. Look at Bruce. This is the intensity right here. Oh.
Both got the one's got the orthodox lead, one's got the southpaw lead.
Oh.
All those tense poses after after every move. It's weird. The man who talks about flow, but when he actually fights, for the film, it's all about intensity.
Oh, went for the hook kick and the double somersault backflip escape.
Standard counter to the kick.
Oh, always. Oh, he's a size 9.
Now I'm not sure if that's him doing the flip there. I know most of the flips in this film aren't him. When he does the jumping kick, and when he does the somersault at the end of this scene, that's Yuen Wah from Dragons Forever.
I like the back sweep there. Sapu Loire sets him up now.
Crucifix.
Oh, yes. Gary Goodridge, man. Yeah, 96, baby. Look, goes for a really awful Kimura.
I'm not sure what he was tapping to there. No. But people consider this the first kind of MMA fight on the screen in a film, because it does have the punching and the kicking, and they are not wearing a traditional uniform, and they're wearing gloves.
It's I still like it, because it's like, well, this is a celebration all on its own right now. Oh look! Last time I saw flips like that was the Golden Child, man.
And you can tell that's not Bruce because of how thin he is there. Really, I always thought it was Yuen Bao, but I believe it's Yuen Wah. Who also, if you watch have you seen Dragons Forever? He's the guy in the suits doing the smoking. So I know he does most of the doubling for Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon.
Right. The one thing, right? I'm gonna ask you this, because you're the man who knows this more than me. But the Chinese opera, super famous. So Jackie Chan, I know Sammo Hung was in there as well. Bruce had never, he was over doing the cha-cha over in West Coast, right?
I'm pretty sure. I think Yuen Bao, Yuen Wah, Sammo Hung, and Jackie Chan, I think they're all from the same troupe, doing Peking opera. Again, it's not something I know a huge amount, but I did read Jackie Chan's first autobiography he put out.
Yeah.
And the story tells in that, because obviously Sammo's known as being quite heavy. The story is that he got injured, and then he'd done all the training, so he was still, he could do all the stuff, but he got injured, and then he put on weight, and then because of that, he couldn't really do the Peking opera, so he went to the movies.
Right.
So he's the one who got into the Shaw Brothers movies and the Kung Fu movies, and he's the one who brought the rest of the guys over and was like, well, look, Peking opera is great, but I'm going to be a fucking movie star.
Yeah, that's a movie. So
the story, the way I heard it, was that he's the guy who brought them all over from that. and obviously having done the Peking opera, they learn how to sing and dance and do acrobatics and stuff. It's kind of like,
I tell you what,
it's almost like the American studio system.
But it almost, but like with a bit more. I wasn't even going to say the bamboo across the feet, but it was, the training in that was like horrific. Horrific.
It's you see it's they're there from being a child. I think a lot of the kids were given their, as we get with a lot of different stuff, when there's families with not a lot of money, they can put their kid into that, and then hopefully some money will come back from that and things. And also, if they can't look after their kid, that's somewhere for them to go.
It's an investment, son.
Yeah, and a lot of these places, they need those bodies, so it's kind of like a trade for it. I'm just talking off the top of my head there.
I like what you're saying,
like, I don't want to be saying,
no one's going to hold us 20 of this anyway.
I don't want to get cancelled on the very first chat about movies.
Wow, imagine that, hey? And I'm on my best behaviour at the moment. But what we should have done, we didn't even do the intro, so we've done the intro. It's called an outro now. It's going to be a new thing. I'm trying to work on it. First of all, the inimitable Nathan Leverton. We've just done the breakdown, but you know what? The crack is, we want to be a little bit different. Rocking Bruce Lee, I'm liking your style.
Well, thanks to you, it's your style. You give me the t-shirts.
Exactly that. I thought we'd go old school. Well, you can't get any more old school than me, man.
That's as old school as that gets.
But this is, we will talk about this in a future episode. Brain went off on me.
I was thinking.
Charlie Bronson.
Charlie Bronson.
Oh, mate, now this. Do you know what? I reckon we should do this because guess what?
It's the first cage fight.
Yeah, but do you know what? I've never seen this.
Oh.
Now we are social distancing. The Bride of Frankenstein is right there. Right, I tell you what, I still seriously had the hots for her, man, back in the day.
Yeah, you've seen there's a photo of her putting the makeup on when she's in the with the hair and everything. Oh, it's literally, if someone put it up today. So
really?
I'll see if it pops up before we watch.
Did you see the they showed the makeup girl getting the Beatles ready for Abbey Road. Literally, we're talking like 10 seconds before they walked across the zebra crossing. Oh man, it's crazy.
So this is one of the fight scenes from Hard Times. I haven't seen Hard Times in a long while, but it's Walter Hill who does gritty.
Oh, I love Walter Hill.
Obviously, I'm a massive fan of the Warriors. As you know.
Keep on bopping.
Yeah, I've got a lot of Warriors clothing. And
favourite t-shirt by Scramble.
It is.
If they ever want to reissue a t-shirt, I've tried to give you my one, but you won't take it off me. But it is a great cut, isn't it?
It is. It makes me look hench. So I have worn it till it's got holes in it. Yeah. So I do love that.
I'm going to name check Strauss because Strauss was the first guy I saw wear the Warriors t-shirt, and I actually bought it.
Yeah,
I bought it on that because I looked and went, yeah, man.
Well, there was that small period where they got the license to it and you saw it just appear everywhere within our community. I mean, obviously I was a fan of it through the movies anyway, but it suddenly just appeared in the jiu-jitsu community and you saw the gis and all the tops.
Wayne Stokes, big shout out to Billy Idol. Starbridge's Billy Idol, well, Oldbury's Billy Idol really, if you want to be geographically correct. He's got the Warriors gi, man.
Yeah.
That was when I realised that BJJ especially was like the geekiest martial art in the world, man.
For sure.
Yeah, nerdy shit, man. But I was
telling the guys at the gym, it's like, if we were actually regular, normal people, we'd probably be playing football with our mates. But we're all down here punching each other in the face.
Yes,
paying to do it. So
to involuntary yoga. That was what my favourite one that I've seen recently for BJJ is Murder Yoga. It's called.
Murder Yoga.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. So Walter Hill.
Yes, Walter Hill directing, Charlie Bronson in bare knuckle fight. Not sure the guy that is fighting because we just brought it up on YouTube. It is a fight I've seen before, but
this is the bald-headed guy.
Yeah,
he looks like the guy who calls Mike McFly a slacker. Oh my God!
Well, it looks like the guy who fights in Indiana Jones a little bit.
He does. Pat Roach,
yeah, it looks a little bit like him. But then again, big muscly white guys with shaved heads, there's not a lot to go by.
And Jimmy Coburn, always a top man, student of Bruce Lee's as well.
Yeah, of course he was. Was he a Paul Bearer at the time?
Yeah, he was. He's legit, apparently. But look at Bronson, man. Wait until he whips his coat off, man, and you know what a bag of walnuts with legs looks like, man. God, I'll tell you. And look at that. There's no human growth hormone at all there. This guy is au natural, man.
The word leathery comes to mind.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's on the ketogenic diet for all you guys out there. Yeah, I feel your pain, brothers.
So I guess this is the first film cage fight, being with all these barriers around it.
Oh, he's working off the passive fence there for a second. Hands up.
Still got the trousers on.
Oh, John O'Sullivan time.
I like the braces pulled down off one of them as well. So I'm not going to take them off. Just pop them down for this fight.
Oh, lovely counter there from Charlie B. Straight away. Oh, and the jab just getting his attention. Bit of a stiff-looking jab there, though, Nathan.
Yeah. But from the few bare knuckle actual fights I've seen, because obviously it's kind of growing a little bit more now, I noticed that they don't actually go into mid-range a lot, they stay long.
Yes.
And use the jab a lot more because the jab becomes a weapon rather than just a setup. And they're kind of doing that a little bit here.
Yeah.
They've got the old school, like palms facing, hands up this way.
Always good. Oh, look at that. 3-punch combination straight out there from Charles.
I heard someone talking recently, they were talking about this kind of guard with the weight on the back foot and the hands up. They said if you just turn it around, it's a Thai guard, Thai stancing guard.
So, yeah.
Which I thought was like, I didn't even think of that. Because people are like, oh, why would anyone kind of do this?
Yeah.
Weight back here with nothing on the front leg here. It's like, well, yeah, turn it around, it's the same.
Yeah, it's exactly the same, isn't it? I love this overhead shot. I always wonder how you would sell this to an extra to come and watch this.
Every
every
time they cut away and cut back, he does seem to have changed his stance from a right lead to a left lead, which is a little confusing.
Yeah. That's
happened a couple of times already.
Yeah. And the bald-headed guy, man, he is just throwing potatoes at him, isn't he? Charlie keeps his hands low, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, he's using
head
movement, I guess there's no rules in this one. Straight in with the kicks.
It looks like it's a straight now. All in, baby. All in.
For a big tough guy, the other guy is like really struggling to actually throw punches.
As soon as they lick the blood and
Charlie's moving a little bit, like look, he's actually knows how to box a little bit.
Yeah.
See, look, change his lead again now when he cut away.
Oh, the big guy there, he just threw the big WrestleMania style Hulk Hogan
this shot from the top, lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. And obviously all the usual gun bars there with their side bets going on and dressed like a spiv.
No grabbing the cage.
Oh no, grabbing the cage. Goddard, come on.
Goddard be in there.
Come on. Release, man. No holding the cage, boys. Oh, he's bracing him up with the forearm.
Nice frame.
You know what's coming next. Boom! Straight over the top with the straight right. Oh. And the big guy's still smiling though, isn't he?
Yeah, they don't say obviously this with the makeup. They're not really gone with actually.
No.
If that was now, literally one punch, there'd be blood everywhere. There'd be CGI blood coming out.
Hematomas coming up.
Oh, nice flurry from Bronson there.
It's looking really good. Coburn, I love the way that Coburn always looks like maniacally. He's always smiling. You know, like. He's like the epitome of Shaden Freud, isn't he, in every movie I've ever seen?
Well, I mean, I'm guessing he's got some money in this fight, but he kind of looks like in every scene ever that he's got a bet on something that's going to happen. Yeah. He's got a little slice.
Yeah, there's always shenanigans involved.
Well, if I can take a punch.
Oh man, yeah. He's taking some punishment here, guys. I love this old school. What I really liked about stuff like this was it was so unrealistic, and then the first time you ever get hit, you get hit once and you're like, why would look, he's sliding down. No, this is where you need to go, grab behind the knees, pull him in, man, get your butterflies in. Yeah, it would have been perfect. No. What's the guy going to do?
Pull guard. No, come on.
Pull guard, man, that's where you kick the guy in the head. Oh, straight in there. Yeah, no Bruce Buffer there, was there?
No, it's a nice performance by Charlie there. It's a pretty good fight scene. I mean, it wasn't that unrealistic. I mean, yeah, the amount of punishment that he took without any damage and without needing a break during the fight at all.
Yeah, you did.
But I've seen guys like that stand down brawl like that. I mean, you watch Irish bare knuckle fights, and they will stand there and crack each other for that length of time.
Yes.
There'll usually be a lot more clinching and then breaking it and that kind of stuff. They did kind of stay apart a lot of the time, apart from when they were up against the wall. But
when they started, when the kicks came in, I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to this sort of thing, and I used to marvel, especially when I used to read about John L. Sullivan definitely, and Corbett and guys like that. Bendigo, you know, those old school guys. I was like 103 rounds, and you go, there's no way you can fight for 103 rounds. And it was like, as soon as the guy took a knee, that was the end of the round. Yeah, and you're like, oh, well, now I can see 103 rounds. But I don't know, we're just watching that. As much as I love Bronson, we are super spoiled now. I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, wow, we have moved on. John Wick 3, man, the last time I saw that, now that was...
Yeah.
But then, I don't know, do you reckon we're spoiled in some ways, or do you think... But it lessens the appreciation of some of the
stuff, it depends on the context a little bit. Like if someone's a trained killer in a fight, or we watch a lot of stuff now where people are superheroes and it's kind of a given that they have all these skill sets, then I don't mind seeing all these crazy fight scenes where they're really fast edited, lots of stuff going on. But I've always had a bit of a pet hate with like unskilled people doing moves they would never just kind of come up with on the spot. And so his kick there being a bit off balance and not like a clean, crisp kick, like I'm kind of fine with that because he wouldn't be able to do that kick. I kind of get, when you see like average people in a film now and they're suddenly in a choreographed fight scene in a movie, and I'm like, well, where did this skill set come from? But obviously, we've a lot of times now in movies, it is pretty much a trope that the person has an exceptional set of skills automatically.
Definitely.
Like, especially with what I say with superhero films, or like they're an android, or they've got something, or they've got some sort of implant. There's always something that gives them that exceptional level of skill.
But it was like literally when you, just as you were saying that, what was that movie me and you did, the watch along?
Did you watch Upgrade?
It was Upgrade. We saw it.
That's
man,
incredible.
What a movie!
Yeah, really low budget. Really nails its premise. Very, very simple idea, but just brilliantly done. That first fight scene when he goes to the guy's house and which ends with the knife is unreal. That was one of my favourite films.
Yeah, but I was looking at it and I was like, there had to be a load of money, and it was like, no, just a load of time and a load of passion and people who really enjoyed what they were doing. You could tell.
Yeah.
But man, what a fight! Like that, that for me, by the way, is like that's one of my ultimately favourite movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
also, just the way it's shot. I mean, because it's obviously in that film, it's a character with an implant, and the implant takes over, and the way the film is shot changes when that happens.
Yeah.
Like suddenly there are shots that are showing a little bit more mechanical.
Yes.
And with his movement plus the camera work do kind of give you that change, so that then he can kind of do anything and you buy it at that time. But you get a lot of this kind of stuff now. Someone compared that at the time with that new film Bloodshot that came out, the new Vin Diesel film.
Yes.
Because again, that's someone who gets stuff done to them, and then they can.
But did you see that?
It's fucking awful.
Awful, man. I'll tell you what. I looked at it and I was like the thing is, it's an age thing as well, isn't it? Yeah, and it is truly an age thing, because I watched Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
And I was like, ugh. And then I watched Too Fast, Too Furious, and I was like, double her, right? And then after that, it's like, I think it's on 9 or 10 now.
Yeah.
And oh god, what was the guy's name? BJJ guy who died. Paul Walker.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So of course, when he passed away, I was like, maybe I was a bit harsh. Maybe I need to go back at it. And then I'm looking at it, I'm going, Paul Walker, man, that was a shit franchise, man. You know what I mean? And like, no, but it's the truth. It's like,
it is one of the biggest franchises
he seemed like a great guy, man. He was Frangina gave him his black belt posthumously. Yeah. But he seemed like a wonderful guy, and Vin Diesel seems like a wonderful guy. And I saw the trailer, and it was one of those. It's a classic. This is a classic Nathan Leverton, by the way. Nathan always, you live your life by if the trailer's really good, the movie's going to be shit, because they put all of the great stuff into the trailer, and then you go there and you go, right, so why did I just watch all that? But yeah, Too Fast, I'd written off Vin Diesel anyway, and then I saw that, I thought, I'll have a look at it, and my good God, it was literally...
Well, as soon as I went on the
awful
filmography, and it's I think that it's directed by a guy who did visual effects on like the Marvel movies, and you get a lot of that now. It's you used to get a lot of smaller budget films where you watched them and you went, that was fucking amazing. It would be like a second unit director, or it would be an action director, be someone who worked on other films and does like the fun bits, and then comes over and makes their own film of all that. But now it tends to be guys who do visual effects on films, because obviously action directors are still exist and everything, but a lot of people are, it's done in visual effects.
That's what they do, yeah.
So those visual effects guys are now like, oh, well, I'll make a whole movie of that.
We were only talking about this, weren't we?
It's like, unfortunately, you see these whole films now, like Bloodshot, that's clearly made by a visual effects guy, and not someone who's that used to working with actors or the storytelling, and it relies too much on that.
When you said that, I'll tell you what, this shows what a geek I am, and how old I am. I immediately thought about Russell Mulcahy, Highlander, and it was like, you look at it like, and at the time, man, I still love the movie. I don't care what it says. It's like your first girlfriend, man. I don't care what they do to me. You know what I mean? I go back and I'm like, oh well, but I'll digress on that one. But anyway, I look at it and I'm like, it's a pop video. It's a pop video with sword fighting and Queen. But like, that Bloodshot, man. Oh God Almighty! I looked at it. I think I'm actually. I don't think that 2020. Feel my pain here, guys. We're all in it together, right? But I don't think it could get any worse. But the Nicolas Cage Jiu-Jitsu movie, I think, is going to send me off the edge.
I saw the trailer for that, and even the trailer looked bad. And then I do know someone who's seen it, and they say it's pretty awful. They said, there's some predator elements and some other stuff in it, with an alien coming to this planet that is like hunting and fighting. But it seems to be aimed at a younger audience in a way. They said. And Nicolas Cage doesn't turn up till quite far in, and it didn't.
I tell you what, Nicolas Cage.
Who's actually the lead in it? Because Cage isn't actually the lead.
You see this? I'll tell you something. This, me and you've talked about this at length, right? Guys, if you haven't got Amazon Prime, get on Amazon Prime, because it is the mother load, I'll tell you. Right? It's got some of the great, but some of the maddest stuff that me and you have watched during lockdown.
Oh, I find some great stuff on there.
Yeah, it's unreal.
I'm just talking about Sammo Hung. One of my best finds on there was Man from Hong Kong, which is the first Australian martial arts movie. It's Jimmy Wang Yu coming over and is investigating in Australia. But the opening scene is Sammo Hung having a fight with someone on Ayers Rock, and I'm like, the moment I saw that, I'm like, I'm in.
Oh, straight in.
I'm in. I mean, the director Brian Trenchard Smith he makes a lot of interesting stuff. He made Dead End Driving and lots of other things, but which are all on Amazon Prime. But this film, I mean, one of the things in it, he is friends with a stuntman who does a lot of hang gliding. So there is like 3 hang gliding scenes in this movie.
I'm in hang gliding. I don't even know what's the I want to be PC here. Ayers Rock.
Oh, it does have a different name now. Yeah,
it does have a.
I have no idea.
All I know is there is a hell of a lot of vowels in it, so I'm guessing it's Aboriginal.
I mean, again,
there's a couple of O's in there, I know.
That's the thing. You hear it called Ayers Rock throughout your entire youth when you hear about that kind of stuff. And then you grow up and you never think of it again, and you find out it's changed.
Yeah.
But unless you're using it,
I'm just going like, it's that place in the middle of Australia that you have to drive hours to get to, and you go, it's a big rock.
Well, at the time of the film, it was definitely called Ayers Rock.
Well,
by the people who made that film.
I am definitely in. But yeah, guys, on lockdown, if you haven't got it, because Netflix is good, but Amazon Prime is like, it literally is. It's like the depths of your psyche movies.
Yeah.
Like we'll do a watch along one day with what was that absolute beauty that you that me and you watched?
Oh God, we watched the Linda Blair film, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, rape revenge film. I can't remember what it was called now.
I tell you what, this is dark, man.
Yeah,
it's good stuff, man.
Was bad. But one of the things with Amazon Prime is, I mean, it sounds like an advert for Amazon Prime, but they have a lot of channels on there that you can subscribe to, so BFI and that kind of thing. But a lot of those channels will put some films for free on Amazon to kind of entice you over.
Oh man, so the gateway drug, man.
So you get like Arrow Video and these kind of cool labels putting out a lot of good films on there. Plus they seem to get like archives of old films, and you just suddenly get a load of like Italian thrillers or like zombie movies or like just suddenly appear on there. So for the new stuff, it's not that great. Netflix tends to have newer films and its own content.
The content's good.
Yeah.
Amazon, you haven't said that. You look at Amazon Prime. And I know this sounds like an advert, so hopefully Amazon Prime, you want it. But it's who would have touched The Boys?
Yeah.
Yeah, who would have touched Preacher? You know what I mean? Seth Rogen on both, by the way.
My go-to if I'm looking for something like, I've got Disney Plus, but I can't really find it. Other than Mandalorian, there's nothing on there for me that much.
Yeah.
I've got Netflix. I don't really watch very much on there. But my go-to is always Amazon Prime because I can always find something obscure on there. Could be like a 90s thriller. It could be, just anything. Like this, a 70s ghost movie. Like all sorts of random stuff.
Do you know what the crazy thing is now that really has got me? Is I literally was bored one night and I couldn't instead of looking at genres and looking at anything, I just went, boom, I'm gonna put it in an actor's name and see what comes up.
Oh yeah.
Bruce Willis, man. My good God. That guy, I'm telling you, he literally, get me the female version of him and I'll date her because he will not say no. I'm telling you, the guy is like unreal. You might have to put that last bit out there. Well, I don't know. No, but it was like literally he'll do anything.
Oh, I mean, yeah, guys. There's certain actors like Nicolas Cage, like Bruce Willis, who they must have some expensive hobbies. I don't know.
Yeah, but I would like they love their craft.
They've got bills to pay.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you who I have you ever seen the Nicolas Cage movie where it's based around the Rapture?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, Left Alone, Home Alone, not Home Alone, no, it's Kevin McAllister. He's the man. No, I'm just saying that because I actually love Macaulay Culkin. I love the fact that he's like, he looks like, and he just doesn't care anymore. And he seems like he's straightened himself out, and he's just like, I'm just your typical kid who made billions and then had to divorce my parents. But like the Rapture movie, oh my good God, it's beautiful. Like, we're going to go next.
Should we watch a UFC fight?
Are you ready to go?
Round one, Michael Johnson versus Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Nurmagomedov.
Which UFC is this?
I have no idea.
Here we go.
I just turn the volume down a little bit.
Johnson in the white trunks. Nurmagomedov in the black trunks.
There we are. Just right. It's just so that Will's got something to pick up on.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Talk us through it then. No, we can have a little bit. Don't worry, we're good.
That's the cat going mad outside.
Oh, don't worry about it. The cat will be. Is the cat allowed in?
No, yeah. We'll get that a bit. So yeah. Johnson's out here in his southpaw stance, just trying to keep the range and land those shots on the outside. Lots of movement, trying to get off that centre line, and not be in front and not get backed up to the cage. But Khabib's always got that pressure. He's holding the centre. He's pushing forward. He's going to try and get him up towards that cage. Like,
he never gives up.
He hasn't moved back out of that centre at all. Like he's holding the centre straight back there. The moment there's any pressure, he's holding that centre.
And the one thing about Khabib is he never wants to have a fight in open water, man. He wants to get right up against the cage.
He's been very, very patient.
Oh yeah. Because Johnson's he's just thrown wildly in cases here.
Well, this is the thing. Khabib being so patient, it's making Johnson start to swing a little bit because he's like, I've got the opportunity to throw, but he's really winging it now. But
nice inside kick there.
But that's all those swinging punches. That's going to give him the chance to get in. But I think he's just trying to make the most of the time that he's got on his feet.
Yeah.
The body shots are good. I do like him to keep going to the body. He's using the left hand. Johnson's going to the body, to the head, to the body, to the head.
He thought he clipped in there, didn't he?
Yeah, it was this fight actually. Like everyone saw the domination in the later rounds of this fight and was like, this is why Khabib's going to dominate everybody else. But it was this early part of the round that made me think, if Conor had been on form, I'm not the biggest Conor fan, but I thought on paper he should have won that first fight.
Yeah, we talked about that. I thought he should have done, but
because it's this thing. Khabib fought the best fight he'd ever fought, and Conor fought one of the worst fights he'd ever fought. He came in completely unprepared and not ready for that fight at all. Obviously, wasn't in condition and
nice pressure here now.
Oh, as soon as he gets to the
side control, once he gets there,
because as soon as Khabib gets up against the cage, he gets up to that body lock and then just starts turning off from there. And now he's looking at that crucifix.
Beautiful. And from everybody that he's fought, they always say the same thing. The pressure is just something else. And I know jokingly, he wrestles bears and stuff, but my good God,
Yeah, he lost control of the near arm there. The near arm went underneath, and that kind of created a little bit of a scramble. But then Johnson was so afraid of the strikes, he just brought the hand back.
Yes.
So that's the thing. It's like even if you do slightly well in the wrestling, the ground and pound is going to put you back on the back foot again.
Oh, yeah.
So even though he managed to get that half guard, he's going to be happy to sit there.
Yeah. And the thing is, like Khabib's just ready. Try and get that over shoulder. Get as soon as he flattens you out, man. It's open season time.
But the worst place to be with him is actually to try and come up, because as soon as he gets to those riding positions, and he starts to get the what they now call the Dagestani handcuff, just reaching around the back.
Yeah, that knee ride, just here now when he'll come out again, and when he starts riding, it's not like a horrible knee on belly. It's just awful.
Yeah, he's testing the pass a couple of times, but he's not pushing that pass.
No,
he's just holding that top position. And the thing is in the early days of MMA, everyone always was trying to pass the guard to get to mount, to progress the positions. But everyone's found now that with that half guard, you're actually essentially hooking and turking that bottom leg.
Yeah,
it makes it hard for them to get up. So half guard's actually a good place to sit out, unless you can just progress to the back or
half guard. Man, I've told you before, man. It's like the rest home for all jiu-jitsu guys. But I know I'm going to die eventually, so I'm going to have a couple of hours here.
And this is what he's known for, and this is one of the big things. You see, he didn't try and put both hooks in, because you put both hooks in, you get thrown off. You put that one hook in, and you stay there. You only put two hooks in if you're definitely going to go for that choke and finish.
Yes.
But if not, you ride, and that's something that I've had to work with. Some of my guys who do a lot of jiu-jitsu, and then they, as things have developed, they maybe haven't got the advantage of jiu-jitsu that they normally would when they get in there.
When they're getting hit,
and then guys are starting to throw them off and slide them off, so you don't want to immediately commit your weight to them in a way that then they can manipulate you by throwing you and rolling you and doing that kind of stuff. So you'll notice, both Khabib and DC, they'll often put both hooks in, and if they're not going to choke, they'll take a hook out.
Yeah, they bail,
They'll take a hook out, which is, back in the day, in the early days of MMA, that just never would have happened. No chance.
You see, I was late to the party with Khabib, to tell you the truth, as a fan, literally because, I just allowed my judgment to get coloured a little bit, because it was like who's he actually for? Yeah, that was.
That first half of his career, multiple fights into his career, he was still fighting some debut guys. I think around 10 fights in, he was still fought a guy who was his debut. So, it's one of those ones where you click on Wikipedia or something and you see and all the first part of their career.
Yeah.
None of those guys have got a page.
No. That's when you know, right?
There's no hyperlinks there on all those, and that does tend to kind of tell you a little bit sometimes. If you're 15 fights in before someone warrants a page on Wikipedia, you go, okay, maybe that part of the career, but he built his experience there. Yeah,
man, that's right. He learned his craft. Because I look back on it now, I think it's pretty smart, because use an example, Darren Till, man. You know what I mean? Within 3 fights, it's like, this guy's he's a new messiah. Yeah. And then you're in a lose-lose situation, because you have one bad loss or you have an unconvincing win.
Oh, it's one of the horrible parts of an MMA career is, like, the better you do, the quicker you have to run. Because obviously every fight you have to fight somebody better if you're winning.
Yes.
So, if you lose a fight in the UFC, you can be out straight away. So you have to keep winning. And if you're winning convincingly and doing well, you're then automatically stepping up the ladder. The quicker that goes, the less experience you build. So when you get up there, it's hard to stay there. So unless you are like the exceptional human being who's built a lot of experience beforehand, or can kind of learn on the fly, it's very, very hard for someone to come in, do well, and then stay there.
Yes.
It's it's why you find guys like hanging around the mid range for a bit now. Like you'll see guys on the middle of a card now sometimes, and it's like, they've had 13, 14, 15 UFC fights, whereas there were guys who had 5 fights, got to title shots and disappeared. Those guys hanging around in the middle with some wins and losses are actually building up.
And then this isn't that long ago. 12 years ago, you're looking at Lesnar doing this. I saw him in 2008, and 5 fights in the title shot.
Yeah.
Or was holding the title, as I recall.
Yeah, sometimes with the heavyweights it can be a little bit different, because it's they're not
There's not many of them around, is there?
There's not many. There's not many. There's not many as well rounded sometimes, or there's not many with certain skill sets. It's the heavyweight scene in combat sports generally, other than boxing, doesn't. People don't pay much attention to it that much.
No, and straight away we go back to it, and it's the crucifix is set up.
Yeah.
And he's literally, oh man.
There's a nice pass in the leg over the head to hit behind it, because he did lose the elbow a couple of times before.
Yeah.
So he tries to triangle his legs occasionally, and if you do that, it's got to be above the elbow, otherwise the elbow slides out. But he's not even trying to do that now. He's just he's trying to land as many shots as he can. I think he knows he's got quite a bit of time now.
Yeah.
He's halfway through the round. He's got plenty of time to land some damage, maybe even start to look for the finish.
Significant strikes: Khabib 62 and Johnson 38.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, once you get these positions, that's the time to get those up.
Yeah.
I know the judging over the years has changed in MMA a little bit, and a lot more now it's on damage.
Yeah.
It's not like the damage you cause. I know it used to be like effective striking within.
Yeah. How much of that do you know when you look at it? I look at it now and I look at judges and I think, do you guys think you're just going to be in the next video game? Because it literally is almost like that, right?
Yeah, judging on the American shows is, obviously everything's done through the commissions. I remember I've done cornering and stuff in America, and you have to get a license. You have to take a passport photo and get a license, do all that kind of stuff out there for it. It is all just one of the most interesting things I found. I did a fight in Florida once, and I was speaking to someone from the commission. The commission, one of the things they can do is after a fight, give you a break from fighting, not through medical suspension, but through technical, that you're not good enough. You got to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
This was a long time ago, but I don't know how much that applies now. But they could say, go away, and we won't license you to do another fight.
Work on this
until you get a bit better.
Yeah.
Which would never happen with independent fighters in the UK.
No.
There wouldn't be any left.
Yeah, exactly that. Especially when you need to fill that card with 12 hours to go, right?
Yeah. It's in that exact same position again. He's got that one hook. He's right in the hips. He's got the hand around the back pinned, and he's just landing those big shots.
Yeah, the Dagestani handcuffs. That was the first time I saw that.
You need to base to get up, and the thing is, if you put enough pressure on that, they can't put their hand on the mat. They only put their elbow on the mat. Yeah. That allows you to trap around the back and grab that hand. But it's it's a standard thing to be able to do if you want to get up, is get your hand to the mat, get your hips back to the wall, and then work your way back up.
Yeah.
So you can't get your hips back to that wall without getting that elbow down, and that gives him this position.
And then now this is the point now, I think, where there's some YouTube footage where this is where Khabib just starts saying, Michael, give up. I deserve this. Yeah.
Well, the damage he's got.
Oh.
The thing is, Michael can't cover and try and base at the same time. No. So he keeps putting his hand on the ground and taking those shots.
Yeah, and then he tries to grab the fist that's punching him in the head.
Yeah.
And Khabib was just an absolute savage. This was in these later rounds. That was when I started to believe, to tell you the truth.
It was this performance that made people say no, and they got to admit, this performance actually changed the game. Sometimes you see performances, you see fights, and you see someone do things so effectively, it becomes like the standard way to do stuff.
Yes.
And although everyone was doing these things for years, the underhook, reaching around the back and catching the hand.
Yeah.
I remember I cornered about once, and the person I was cornering did that up against the cage. Had an underhook, reached around the back, grabbed the person's hand and was hitting them against the cage. It was a Dan Hardy in a Cage Warriors fight, and people were always doing this on the ground, but you see someone just do it so effectively at such a high level, and you see so many details with it, and everyone starts analysing it. Especially with we're basically an internet-based sport.
Yes.
Which is because it came up during the era. Literally the first shows are in the mid '90s when the internet, and then it got banned off pay-per-view. So
exactly. It was banned in how many states?
Yeah.
And it's like I always refer to a moment where it was a moment of clarity with me, with John Will, our dear friend, where he turned around and he said the only reason that jiu-jitsu and MMA are this big is the internet and YouTube.
Oh, for sure.
And I was like, shit, you're right, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, completely. But this is a bit where Khabib's like, now he's going, fair play, Michael Johnson's like, go for it. Khabib's looked up and he knows.
Well, he knows he's going to get another round of that. He knows exactly what to do now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this was, as I said, this was what we all know now. You look at Khabib when he went up against Gaethje there, and he made Gaethje, who's an absolute beast. He made him look like an amateur.
Yeah.
That finish at the end where he bailed. We bailed on the armbar because he was like, no, he won't tap, so I'll be breaking his arm.
I mean, fair play on Michael coming out this round. After a round like that,
oh man,
I mean, he's a bit gun shy there. Yeah. He immediately covered up and got taken down. But fair play to stand opposite your opponent after a round like that.
Where he's tying off the legs here.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to work some of that in jiu-jitsu. It's just a great position to go in there and just start shit talking on a few white belts, Yeah. So it's I've looked at some.
It forces that elbow to the ground.
Yes.
Because you need to pin. You have to kind of do that, and then that leaves you completely open. If that hand sneaks around the back again, he's got him again.
And now this.
Posting on the head. God.
And just literally, just hammering the nail, man.
Those hammer fists. Yeah, but I think it was Daly who called that the donkey punch or something like that. Like,
donkey punch.
That was a monkey, but he was like, he's just cracked like that.
That sounds like Daly, man.
But yeah, it's good. Yeah, tied that wrist off again, pulled it around the back.
It's just literally, if you don't train, you have no idea how much pressure is going right now.
Well, he's really looking for that side choke then.
Yeah.
He got that low mount, he's got the one arm trapped.
This was
still looking for it.
Yeah, this is what looking for the head and arm triangle. And like the thing that I like about Khabib is like you look at that point there, and I'd be like, right, I'll just push the pace to take his back, and he's like, no, because the back's too easy now.
Yeah.
No, you're just going to get punished now and putting on a show. Michael's walking up the cage backwards.
There's a nice little walk around to the hips to bring the weight back down, trying to step over the head. So he did that before, stepping over the head and then coming back to trap the arm, rather than just stepping over the arm to get that crucifix position.
Yeah.
And again, bring that right hand back to the hip, which he did last time he lost the arm.
Yes.
Just to stop any backdoor escapes.
And look, you set up for the Kimura now. Oh man, this.
That is on deep. And the finish.
That's the point where it's like McCarthy's going to call it anyway. You know what I mean?
What performance!
What a performance! And this was the one where Khabib, like, he could smell it then.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was when he knew he was going to be a superstar. See Gareth A. Davis in the back there, dressed like Lovejoy. Gareth, if you're watching. So Gareth at Bellator, and literally walked in, and I thought he was going to an antiques dealership. Now, I'll tell you something. I turned up there like straight out the road and book of Sartorial Elegance, black t-shirt and black jeans.
I remember when he first turned up in the scene, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's not going to last in the scene."
No,
and then just become a major part of it.
Yeah, he's a likeable guy, man. Decent writer. He's cool.
But I remember, I think we had like lunch in a hotel after one of the UFCs and no breakfast and did a bunch of sitting around stuff. And I'd seen him around before that, and again, you see him and you go, oh, he's got no place here. Yeah. What's he got to do? But
he's still there.
Yeah, he stayed around, kept pushing the sport. Yeah. Which was from when he started with it was a relatively niche sport.
Yeah. And he's the go-to guy now. If you ever see anything on Sky or anything mainstream, they always go with it. What I do love about Khabib's crew is, first of all, the hat's always sweet, man. That's a great one. But you look at all of these guys, and every single one of those guys could be Kaiser Soze. Yeah, that's you see those guys, and you're like, if you say what's your name, he's like Kaiser Soze, and you're like, I believe it to Khabib. That as if Dagestan wasn't scary enough, man. And some of that, they're all coming out there now. Eddie Alvarez and McGregor's up. Oh. Woodley Thompson. I always like the fact that Wonderboy. Who was Wonderboy? Did he fight Rory McDonald? Who did Wonderboy fight? And he was called Boy, and he was like 3 years older. And I was like, I don't think you understand. Right, we'll do one more, man.
Okay.
Whichever one. Do you want to do? I'm trying to think. I tell you what, we can do the pick a. I don't know. Should we pick a McGregor?
Oh God.
Yeah, he's a gobshite, isn't he? But you see, I picked McGregor only on where he went up against Khabib. No, let's see who else. Usman versus Covington, man. Oh, no, Jesus. McGregor versus Cowboy. Which one of you guys is going to get CTE first? You know what I mean, eh? That's, yeah, you look at those guys and you're like, I don't know. I can never work out how this is on Fight Pass, right?
Yeah.
So how is it that they never... You would have thought that they've got to have an algorithm here that just goes, right, what we'll do is we'll put the fight names in here.
I think it's just using the, maybe like the TV. And typing names in.
Team Faber, Jesus, remember when Uriah Faber was actually...
God, Dennis Siver.
Dennis Siver, Dennis Siver, spinning back kick. Yeah, man, Dennis...
Or...
Who we got here?
I don't know which ones you want.
I know, man, you choose, yeah. Sukasa Miwacha. I remember when Siver used to throw that spinning back kick.
I remember Dennis Siver's spinning back kick very, very well. So first of all, I cornered Jimmy Warled against Dennis Siver up in Nottingham, and then he
was Cage Warriors.
Yeah.
I think I was there.
And then Andre Winner fought on the same card as him, and I think it could have been the UFC 105 one where I thought Dre could have got knocked out of the night, but instead it went to Siver on a back kick.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's the thing. The German MMA scene was always quite tiny. There was only ever a couple of Peter Sabata and Dennis Siver were really the two main guys. With a couple
but he wasn't German originally, though, was he? No. Was he somewhere in Russia?
I don't know where it's from
originally,
but I know the scene out there back then was pretty small. When MMA was really big in the UK, way before most of the places. Obviously, it was banned in places like Sweden and France. But yeah, Germany kind of lagged behind, considering their strong kickboxing background.
Yeah,
I really thought they'd have taken it up.
I trained with a guy. In the 90s when I lived over there. So 94, 95, and he just started doing some grappling. A guy called Hubert Numrick. I'll always remember him. And I went for training. This is how mad it was. Hubert's a cool guy, man. Very cool guy. But I went, one week I trained with Andy Hugg. God rest his soul, man. Trained with Andy Hugg, got absolutely the shit kicked out of me. And then went and trained with Hubert Numrick, and that's when they started rolling around the floor, and I was like, I can't bring this guy back to Coventry. You know what I mean? Because he was a killer at the time. But Siver was something else, man. He was just, I don't want to say battle-hardened veteran, but he was just one of those tough dudes, man, you know?
Yeah, I don't like the term journeyman really, but he was one of those guys that was, without a particularly helpful run, he's not going to get to the title.
No,
He's one of those guys that if you're going to be that guy, the top guy, you have to be able to beat people like this.
Oh yeah, gatekeeper, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Those terms like gatekeeper and journeyman, I feel like they're a little bit dismissive. Yeah, because it frames them in someone else's career.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Kind of thing, but they are their own person.
But the classic example was like Mike Bisping. Bisping was seen as a gatekeeper, realistically, and then next thing you know, it's like, nah, sorry, mate, I think you've given me the wrong term here, mate.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they get the right run, those guys, because they're good enough to be a world-class fighter. They're good enough to be in the UFC.
Well, yeah, but you think about it this way. It's like when you talk about McGregor, especially. Like now, talk about a protected guy, the easiest run to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everything down on paper. There's your boy John Kavanagh hiding there.
Yeah, I only rolled with him once, got absolutely smoked.
It's still good though, you know what I mean? You rolled with him.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know if you can even call it rolling. I was tapping out quite a lot. Right, so here's the fight.
Here we go. This is back in the days where you could still get sponsored. That's when the guys were still making money from sponsorship.
Yeah, you used to be able to have the banner hanging over the side.
Yeah,
you had to get the banner passed by the UFC. So
and then Leicester Shootfighters, there'd always be a little bit there for you.
Yeah, we try and get it on there when we could.
Yeah. Oh, Herb Dean. Do you remember the time Herb Dean had a fight down at Cage Rage? Or was
I know he fought MMA.
Yeah, man. With the dreads.
Yeah.
And no one ever pulled the dreads on him. Yeah, that was the first thing. This was back when I used to really enjoy watching Conor fight, and then obviously I allowed the fact that his personality coloured my judgment, which you shouldn't do when you're watching somebody.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I mean, there's the whole argument generally, which is obviously a bigger thing even now, which is the splitting the art and the artist with movies, especially with the whole Me Too movement and stuff. But even with fighters, obviously you could have probably got quite more trouble finding guys who aren't going to give you some sort of problems.
Yes.
Because they fight in a cage for money for a living, but.
Yeah, the greatest understatement of all time.
yeah. So, my favourite fighters were the people who did show good sportsmanship as well as being great fighters. I do find it very hard to root for somebody who is just basically being a douchebag in a fight.
Yeah, but you see, I used to absolutely love Conor when he first came up, and then obviously his antics outside. Yeah, I watched him when he was going to fight Diaz, and I was in New York, and I literally, in space of 10 years, it was a niche sport, and then 10 years later I go to Times Square, and there he is.
Yeah.
Boom, 100 foot high on the TV screen, and you're like, wow. So he transcended the sport. You got to give him that.
Oh yeah. I mean, my friend Josh Palmer, who obviously does a lot of commentary and stuff. You see photos of him like interviewing Conor in the cage at Cage Warriors,
wow.
And then years later, very short time later, really, you see him having the biggest pay-per-views in the world. In the world of sports, like it's just
Well, I remember him from that Rites of Passage DVD, and he was a young kid, and I'm looking at him going, this guy's delusional. I'm going to be bigger than anything, and he proved it. Michael Jordan of MMA, right? But here we go, straight out with a round kick.
But yeah, I mean, the way he moves and his posture he just really gets in people's heads. He really dominates them. He puts people on the back foot immediately.
Yes.
But the thing is, because he's got that such great countering, he can do that. He can put pressure on you, and then you get flustered and you make that mistake, and then he catches you with something, and then that puts people on the back foot even more.
Nice side kicks there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Just putting out a range of strikes. You don't know quite what's going to come. You can't settle. So as you see here now, Siver is already backing up. He's already not really throwing a lot.
No.
He's already getting countered a little bit. He doesn't know which shots come in.
No.
He's off balance immediately. And he's not
Conor's dictating it by throwing nothing.
Yeah. Siver's already fighting against the fight that Conor wants to do.
Yes.
It's his pace, is at his range. And he's always talking shit to him as well.
Yes.
That's the thing. Always, all those levels, he's just keeping him there, and he's circling the way he wants him to circle, and then he's throwing those kicks just to let him know. Well, if you circle that way, there's always something.
Yeah, there's something going to wait for you here.
So now Siver's circling to his left, but he's a little bit worried about that kick coming behind as well. And the spinning kick is his thing.
Yes. And Conor's thrown out enough spinning kicks already to make him realise he can do it as well.
Yeah.
And then straight Kakazuki there, straight out of karate, man, a minute ago.
And he's coming in, obviously, chin straight up.
Yeah.
But that range and the accuracy is not make a difference. Yeah. I mean, you look at the length of the arms difference there.
Oh, that jumping knee was good. Yeah. You see, that
long range, Siver's nowhere near when he's throwing.
You see, this was a great matchup by the UFC because, 2.5, 3 inches reach height difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Conor's doing a bit of clapping there.
I mean, the amount of spinning kicks he's throwing, which is again, Siver's signature move.
Yeah. How to get into somebody's head.
But see, Siver had a good chance there. That combination, finishing with that left hook, is a good combination to throw. But he's just kind of he's getting clipped with counters. He's not kind of finding his feet. He's a bit nervous. Yeah. Every time he stops and settles, that laser left hand's coming straight down the middle of their bomb.
Well,
so he can't stop as well. So he has to keep moving.
Yes.
Has to keep moving, and then he keeps getting kicked.
And he tags him every single time with it. Literally, he was hitting him at will.
Yeah. And then if you stand there and the kick's coming instead, so that's the thing. That's exactly what happened there. If you stand there, he's going to laser that shot down, and then if he thinks you're going to see that, he's going to throw like that high kick or the jumping knee or something else. So you have to keep moving, and if you're on your back foot and moving, how are you going to get any power off.
How much kind of success do you reckon came from the game plan from Kavanagh?
I mean, Kavanagh's an exceptional martial artist and coach, so I'm guessing. I mean, it depends what you mean. Directly for the particular fight, or through all the training that he's given him. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, I personally think. I personally think. You know. Yeah, Connor delivers the message well, you know.
Yeah.
But the tactics have been something else, you know. Like the Jose Aldo fight, I knew he had that. Just literally started doing that Dragon Ball Z shit.
Yeah.
And then like Jose Aldo's out. So what is this guy going to throw at me?
Oh. He's starting to time that duck down.
Yes.
You've seen that duck down there for the shots.
Yeah.
Stuff the head straight back to the cage, straight back to your feet.
Yeah. Connor's having none of it on the floor. And this is 4 minutes into the first round of 5, you know, and he's already not
so
looking
time
great.
that duck down again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's starting to cut him off a little bit, but that's the thing. He lets people run off to this side a lot.
Yeah.
But he tends to catch him with that straight left. Oh, he's opening up on him now.
Yeah. And Siver used to bleed a lot anyway, you know. He used to always get opened up.
As soon as he's got it back on there, see, like he's going like flurry, go to the body.
Picked up the leg.
Siver's just getting nothing off.
Yeah.
His punches are too short, and he's leaning back. He's on the back foot. He's got blood in his eyes.
Yeah.
He's just getting nothing.
It's at times like this you go, I've got another 20 minutes of this if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's nothing. There's nothing coming back now of risk.
And there was nothing behind that kick either. And now he's just teeing off on him.
But I think he just took a shot, but it didn't affect him at all. So that's the thing. Conor does stand in there with his chin up, but again, usually if you're dictating a range, not a lot lands. But yeah, very one-sided round. Very,
very much so.
But he was right from the start dominating that range on how the fight was going. But it's always weird that he encourages people to circle off to his lead side, but he's always got that. He can step across and throw that laser left, which he catches so many people with.
Yeah.
At the moment, he's only really throwing it when Siver's in front of him, but he actually throws it when people are circling off his lead side, which is like crazy. You normally try to get someone into in front of it there.
Definitely. He's just, as you said, like it's only when you go back now and you look at Conor that you realise just how talented. You know, and I truly believe with Conor it was very zeitgeisty and very right place, right time, everything.
Well, timing with everybody is.
That's the important thing.
It's cut off that angle, so you know, Siver was obviously planning to move to his left through the fight. He's been trying to do that, but see again, he's moving to the left, but he still gets caught with that straight left.
Tagged. And
then there's that spinning kick that he's giving him to think about the whole fight. So then he doesn't know which way to go now. Look, he keeps going right, going left, but then those kicks are going to come straight up the middle if he stays on the spot again. Like Siver does not know which way to go, which is why he's ended up back on the cage, because he just doesn't know what to do anymore.
And he's not. He's
got no answer.
No, and he's not. Colin's not going to stand and bang in the centre, because why would he?
No. But you see, I can just take his time now.
Yes.
Siver does not know. He doesn't know how to come forward because he keeps walking into those stomps and kicks, and then and then that's the thing. You bum rush, you're going to get caught with that counter there where he backs off, and that's the risk. So when he takes that little step back, fade back, he catches you. See, that's that left when someone's moving. That's his lead side. Like. It's such a difficult shot to land. Like, how many people land that shot? And then pass straight to
now he's got full mount.
He just wants a way out now, really.
Yeah.
No offence to Siver, but his feet are off the ground. He was just covering up.
Yeah.
He knows he's done. Look, when someone's basically fetal position on their back like that.
Yeah, this is just a good call by Herb Dean on that one.
Yeah, he was done.
Yeah.
But by his posture, you can just tell.
Definitely. Yeah, your feet are up in the air. You're not going to actually be able to.
Incredible performance.
No. Connor's jumped in. He's in there. Fair play to the security immediately.
Oh, see, that's the thing. Performance like that, and then he can't help it. Be a prick.
He goes straight for Jose. And
obviously got him paid.
Yeah, too right. Yeah, that's how he makes the money, right? And the Fertitta boys are just there rubbing their hands together. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yes. Conor just an absolute idiot, right? But
what a performance!
Oh,
it's just
unbelievable. And then
technically just absolutely brilliant, and just his skill set but how he applies that skill set in the fight is just fantastic.
Yes.
It's the movement and the range and the just the dominating physically and mentally.
Yeah. Oh.
And the pace, breaks the pace with his punch there. But again, who hits people with their rear hand when the person's moving away from their rear hand?
No. This is the one thing, especially with McGregor. It's like and being Irish, it absolutely kills me to say this because I really want it. I don't want him to I'd be happy if it was a persona, but I think it's actually him. Mm-hmm. But the talent that the guy had. Yeah. And I truly believe he took MMA, but he took the UFC to the next level.
Yeah.
Because up until
everyone knew who he was. It's just a shame he crashed and burned the way he did in the culture a little bit. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are still fans of him.
Yeah. But you can.
Although I have to admit, if anyone comes in the gym and they're like, I want to do a bit of this MMA stuff, I'm like, okay, cool, why? I'm so a massive Conor McGregor fan. 99% of the time, they're the biggest dickhead you've ever met in your life.
Man, we had...
they'll be like, I only do... the next line will be something like, I just do bare knuckle fights. Or, I've done illegal fights, but I can't tell you about them.
Really? I killed one.
There's always some sort of thing. Or they'll be like, I've got anger management issues and someone told me I should do MMA together. There's always something afterwards that makes you go...
That's the point where you get that. See ya. Unbelievable. For the Diaz fight, especially with Conor, I look at it and I go, right, okay, up until Khabib, everything he had was still a win-win for him. So he fought Diaz. He was a much bigger guy, and he went, no, they're exactly the same size. Yeah. It's just Conor absolutely tortures himself to get down to the weight. But it was the Chad Mendes fight. I think it was superior tactics and a bit of luck with Jose Aldo.
I mean, time is everything. You only fight, you're going to beat the people in front of you. And I talked a lot of shit when I was not going to say everyone talks shit about him. I did as well. That he wasn't doing those things where you clear out everyone in the top 10 and then you go back and fight him again. He wasn't doing like a GSP or a Mighty Mouse where you clear everyone out and you fight him again. He was kind of jumping his way through.
And
there was
negotiated
a lot of, there was a lot of fortunate circumstances that got him to where he was. And also, when we talked about that fast run that you sometimes get, one of the big things is that era of invincibility. You've seen it as many times as I have. It's like when someone gets beat and everyone's like, that guy's dead now, blood in the water.
Yes.
And that's the thing. Once he got beat, there was that. A lot of guys were gunning and wanted it.
Do you know what? You just said it. I was so guilty of that with Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whittaker, because he just took an absolute shellacking, and I was like, I just don't ever want to see that again. And then his last fight comes out, and he was just like, he was a killer again. And I was like, Jesus, man! And I'm a huge mark for him. I think he's a great fighter. But as I said, you look at it, he hit a Chad Mendes 2 weeks out. You know what I mean? And then he goes against Khabib, and you're like, what's the best tactics against Khabib? I don't know, a gun. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you going to do? You're not going to be able. I don't think you'd ever be able to get him anywhere. And the one thing
I predicted for him to, if you looked at their previous performances, if you saw a performance like that, like we just watched, and you saw the Khabib performance, you saw this, you would go apart from those takedowns that Siver actually got him down and he got back up, which obviously Khabib wouldn't do. A little bit more takedown defense. Conor should rip him to pieces. Because Michael Johnson was hitting him with some stuff, and Conor only had to land one. But Conor just came out. I mean, he got dropped. He just fought terribly.
To tell you the truth, I think, especially with the Khabib fight, I think literally he knew that the lifestyle outside the ring, the lack of training, as you can obviously tell, and I think that mentally, I think what it is with Khabib, that's one of the reasons I am a fan of Khabib is, and this sounds savage, right, but Conor McGregor decides he's going to charter a plane, get all of his mates. They're going to go over. They're going to throw a dolly through a window.
Yeah.
And then Khabib goes, puts a hammer in on a guy, and then what does he do? Jumps off the cage. And who's the first guy he meets? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, he just threw himself into a massive sea of whoop-ass and went to Dylan Dennis, you're having it first.
Yeah.
Bang, and you're like, nah, that's a tough guy.
Dylan who?
Is it Dylan? Yeah.
No, he was like, he was a thing when he could have followed.
Yeah, but sorry, so it's 2020, sorry guys, get on
like he was a thing when he could follow around Conor and talk shit, and then I don't know.
But he was
is he still doing it?
I don't know, but he was good. There was a hype behind him.
There was a hype behind him, but I never understood it.
No, I didn't. But like you literally, I had people like say to me, "Have you seen this?" And I'm McGregor's your man. And I went, "No, he used to be my man." I said, his behaviour, and I was like, "You got to look at it this way. This is a guy who literally had just been in a fight."
Yeah.
And he just dived into the middle of a crew.
Yeah.
To who was supposedly the top guy, and he went, and not only that, knew that he was at the very least going to get suspended.
Yeah.
At the very least, and you're like, over what? Talking shit. And that's one thing I do like about Khabib. It's like, got to remember what you're saying now. I will make you pay for it.
Yeah. I mean, that stuff's a bit difficult. I mean, when you. If you're backstage at a weigh-in at a UFC and you're queuing up to go out, one of the things they often say, they come down and go, look, no trouble outside the cage, you're not getting paid to fight today.
Yes.
You get paid to fight tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of them do take that professionalism thing of like, why would I start anything or have anything outside of this? Like we can do it for the crowd or whatever, but the only time I'm getting paid is when I'm in there.
Yeah, but the only thing...
And then the thing is, in fact, if I do it outside, I'm doing the opposite of getting paid. I'm getting fined.
Yeah.
So,
but again, what you got to remember is you're dealing with guys, say like Khabib, you're dealing with someone like him, and he goes, "There's not enough money in the world for it. It's my honour."
Yeah.
And that's a different. You deal with a guy like that.
Some people take it differently. Some people are like, it's just a job.
Yeah.
And some people are like, it's my.
Do you remember Hector Lombard?
Yeah.
So I don't want to say who it was who he had a fight with, but let's put it this way: he was super. I'll tell you afterwards. But I can mention Hector because I've heard Eric say this in interviews in the past. But they were having, as Eric said, you two are having a fight where you would both get at least $150,000, and yet you're having a fight in a restaurant for free.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
He goes, "Are you for real?" And
that's when you talk about honour and stuff. What you want, it's like, but that's just dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
And Hector was giving away a good £50.
Yeah.
That way, you know what I mean. So it was a fair play to Hector. He went for gold. Yeah. It was. But again, it's the whole thing's mad. But I don't know. I don't think there's a way back now from McGregor. Do you think that the era is over? Right.
I don't know. He's still going to be a massive draw.
Having said that, Tyson's fighting Jones tonight, so
tonight,
give you an idea.
Yeah.
They never say never.
Hey, not in 2020.
No, oh man. Yeah. It's all bets are off, man.
I mean, there'll be Conor McGregor exhibition match versus Donald Trump coming up or something. Trump got some debts to pay.
Yeah. Jesus, to the world, man. Yeah. Well then, man, that was good.
It was nice to have a chat and watch some fights together. There's not much better than that.
Nah, there isn't, man. So there you are, Will. You've got it sorted, man. And we've got Frankenstein behind us there. Boris Karloff's doing his thing. I promise I'll slim down for the next one. The glasses are just a prop, man, to make me look intelligent. They're not actually the glasses when I have to look at my camera now and work out how to turn it off. All right. Thanks, man.
Well, he's going to be like, that's great. But lose the guy in the Bruce Lee t-shirt.
No, keep the guy in the Bruce Lee t-shirt. There you are, kid.